and welcome to a new episode of A Dog's Soul. I'm Anita. I'm a professional dog trainer. I help you build a trusting relationship with your dog to overcome fear and reactivity. And today we're gonna talk about Mission Impossible. Can you even train your dog? So have fun. Alright, so what do I mean by some dogs are not trainable? It's not about breed or character or something like that, so a dog that's just not motivated, because we can change that. We can see how we can reach a dog and what we can do to get him into training and get him interested in what we are trying to do with him. But what I really mean is a dog that is really and truly not trainable. And maybe you have guessed it. We are talking about fearful dogs. And a scared dog that is really afraid of everything. So crouched down under some kind of furniture and not coming out at all, or just at night when the house is quiet and nothing's around to scare him. That dog is not trainable. We can do little things like implementing a marker signal and stuff like that. That's possible. And of course, we can start very, very small, but we cannot just jump into training and say, why? Let's just do this and that and tricks and whatever and get him interested in search games and all those things, because the dog is just too scared. And as I said, it is still possible to start training with that dog, but there are dogs where the living conditions are so imbalanced with the dog's needs that training is really not possible or not useful, because the setbacks are so severe that the training progress is eliminated almost immediately. And that happens when, for example, a dog is very afraid of the sound of gunshots and the dog lives next to a shooting range. That's impossible, because you cannot make your house or your apartment so soundproof that the dog will not hear it. I mean, I have never seen it done. Maybe it is possible and I just haven't seen it yet. And then the house would be safe for the dog, but it would not be really possible to go outside except for the closing hours of the shooting range, if there are any. So in those cases, when management is not possible and the dog has to live with the trigger of his fears, it's ridiculous. We have to change something. And if a move is not possible, then maybe a new home for the dog in an environment without the trigger is more suitable. I don't say give up your dog, but a life in fear, constant fear, every day, with very little space to feel comfortable and to be fear-free, is not worth living. Really, it's horrible. It's something most of us can't even imagine, I think. But that's not quality of life. So this is something where we have to make drastic changes in the human's life. And that would make it better for the dog. The question is, are you ready to do that? So why is that important? Because with training around fear, it doesn't really matter what you do. If you do classical counter conditioning, or if you are introducing the trigger and ask something of your dog and stuff like that, we have to present the trigger to the dog in a way that's not scary. So the dog can be aware of the trigger and start dealing with it in a fear-free and safe situation and setting. If that's possible, then we can work on the fear and we can work on the trigger. If it's not possible, we have to use management, and that can look so many different ways. Like we use something to muffle the sounds, we use something to block the visual whatever. So I don't know, put something on windows when your dog is afraid of other dogs walking by, for example. Or we can switch walking routes to a very, very quiet area so your dog gets not confronted with things like joggers and bicycles and, I don't know, public transportation or cars or whatever your dog's afraid of. And then introduce the trigger in a very, very safe environment that we can absolutely control. And that way we can really train. And if that's not possible, again, then we have to make drastic changes. So why don't you let me know in the comments if you're living with a fearful dog and what you have done with your fearful dog to overcome the obstacles together. And yeah, if you need help with that and if you're interested in starting a new life with your fearful dog, let me know. I'm working on something right now, so I would love to hear if that's something that is interesting to you. Other than that, I wish you a great time with your dog and always improve courage and curiosity and just be a dog. Have fun. Until next time. Bye.